Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Slcmof and I'm back again with another video, and I do apologize I did not have a video up on Saturday because I had my actual graduation party and I watched the trailer in the middle of my graduation party, which I probably shouldn't have done. Anyway, the trailer was awesome. I loved Aquaman Super at the very end. That was my favorite part of it. And speaking of Aquaman, we got the new gameplay that you saw in the background here. This is, like more in-game gameplay. I think the gameplay trailer was just a montage of the coolest parts of, some of the coolest parts, of course, of, like Superman's super awesome, and some of the new gameplay, stage transitions return, those kind of things. However, here's what I will kind of say regarding the loot box system, which I think has been the most controversial part of the Injustice 2 launch. And I'll just preface this by saying I'm still very, very excited for this game, even though I am going to explicitly state and publicly announce my reservations for the Injustice 2 leveling up and loot box system. And, initially, I was actually writing an editorial piece about Injustice 2, and I wrote in there as one of the 5 things that I would do to make Injustice 2 better. I said I would make a more rewarding level up system, because Injustice 1 didn't really have, a rewarding level up. You just kind of like get banners and that kind of thing, but you have all the characters right away, and I think that's the way it should be. And they gave us a more rewarding level up system, as I asked. The editorial piece isn't done yet, but that's what I asked for. And I don't know how much I love it, to be honest with you. And we can never know for certain until we actually get it. But here is what I heard from Ed Boon explaining it on Twitch. So in Injustice 1, you get the character that they made. So you get Aquaman, and you learn Aquaman's abilities, and you play around what NetherRealm has designed for you. What NetherRealm is doing with Injustice 2 is that Aquaman is just a base character, and the loot and abilities that you add to that character via loot customization gear that you unlock in loot boxes fundamentally changes the abilities of that character. For example, if you add more speed abilities, you make Aquaman move faster. If you add gear that, maybe more armor, then maybe he has more health. Who knows? But the fact of it is, this is not just everybody's Aquaman is the same. Everybody has a different Aquaman that has different abilities and different strengths and different weaknesses based upon the gear and loot that they unlock and add to their character as they play as that character more and more. And right away, I didn't have any, complaints about the system. It sounded freaking awesome. The notion that you have a Batman, but your Batman is a little faster than mine based upon the abilities that you put. Mine is stronger. That's an interesting matchup at that point, because we're both Batman, but yours kind of looks like Batman Beyond. Mine looks more like Red Hood for whatever reason. Like in the trailer, you saw that there was a Batman that looked like Red Hood, and that's freaking cool. I think that's really cool, and instead of just cycling between the Arkham City skin and the regular Batman skin in Injustice 1, we have all these different gear and loot and abilities to put on our Batman. But the more that I think about it, I have reservations, as I said, and a lot of people are mentioning that if you include a money system to this, because these loot abilities are not just cosmetic, they do actually improve or increase the characteristics, as they mentioned, as Ed Boon clarified. The Aquaman that you get in the game is just the base. So some people have expressed concerns that if you implement a money system, then that could be disastrous for the game. But I'm not even talking about that. First of all, I think the possibility that there is not a money system involved in the loot box system in Injustice 2 is minuscule. It is so small. The only reason a system like this exists in the game at all is for the possibility of implementing a money system where people can pay to unlock the loot rather than grind and level up and play as that character and get all the loot. That way you just drop $15, $20 and you've got a fully decked out Aquaman. And that is where you can certainly get into some issues with the game, but I'm not even talking about that. Let's say there's no money involved. Let's go best case scenario. Again, I think this is a very slight chance of happening, but best case scenario. It's already very challenging to balance a game like a fighting game like Injustice 1. And when you implement a system like this where you can add gear, and that changes the abilities of your character. For example, if you have lighter armor or whatever, you add this certain ability, it makes Aquaman move faster, or the Flash, let's say, it makes the Flash move faster, so he hits harder. And you have this certain piece of gear that has this adverse effect on this certain ability, and it makes this do more damage. Or you're as Batman and you chose this armor piece, and it makes you have more health. This kind of puts a whole wrench into the entire balancing system. And as you can imagine, it would be incredibly challenging to balance a game like this, where literally there's hundreds and hundreds of variations with the loot as to what and how your character acts and behaves, and what ability does what amount of damage. And if you have played more as Aquaman than I have, then we're Aquaman versus Aquaman, and you're going to demolish me just because you have more loot, you have more abilities, whether you paid for those abilities or whether you just played more than me. I'm going to be discouraged to play as Aquaman because my Aquaman sucks compared to yours. And I think that this is going to be just very weird for all fans of, you know, competitive combat fighting games. The notion that you have Batman and I have Batman, we're playing the same exact character, but the reason that you beat me is not because you're better than me. It's literally because you bought those abilities or that you just played as the character more than I have. Your character's leveled up higher than I am. For a fighting game, that's very weird. You know, a fighting game, it's all about the mechanics and who's better. And I think I might actually like the Injustice 1 system better, even though I fully admit the notion that, like, our Batman, you know, we're both playing Batman, but ours are drastically different in the way that we play them and the abilities that we use because of the certain gear and loot that you have that is different than mine. That's freaking awesome to me. That sounds epic. I just don't know how they're going to balance it. I think there's going to be some serious balancing issues, and there's going to be all kinds of videos on YouTube of like, oh yeah, put this chest armor plate on and do this and this and this for the Flash, and you will be freaking unstoppable because it does this and it makes this ability stronger. I don't know. I just don't know how they're going to balance it, because at that point, you're not balancing a 36 character list. You're basically balancing 36 characters with literally, not literally, but almost an infinite amount of variations of that character. And again, certain loot will increase or improve certain abilities. I just don't know yet. I'm not gonna, I was gonna say I'm not gonna judge prematurely, even though I already have. I'm just saying I have some reservations. I'm interested to see more about this loot system, but definitely keep the lookout for it. And if there is a money component, then there definitely is reason for the alarm that has been stated thus far. And, you know, Ed Boon and all them at, you know, NetherRealm, they're very responsive to fan feedback as far as I'm aware. So I think that if we make our opinion very clear that we do not have an interest in paying to unlock abilities to make our character better than another one, because that in the purest form is pay to win, whether you, I mean, you know, in this situation it may be a little different than what you think of it, but that is what it is. It's paying to make your character better. Then I hope that they are fully aware that, you know, we do not particularly endorse or want a system like that. Okay, that's my thoughts on Injustice 2. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Sorry it wasn't too much of a positive video, just kind of my thoughts that I've been thinking about, and I'm looking forward to more Injustice 2 gameplay and news, and as it comes, I'll be sure to be better about reporting it to you guys in the future. Okay, hope you guys have enjoyed. My name is Slcmof, and we'll see you in the next one.